I built an AI agent inside Fireflies, gave it a job role and a set of questions, and let it interview me live over a real call, no script reading on my end, just answering naturally. At the end, it wrote up its own honest assessment of me as a candidate. Quick subscribe if you want more real AI tool tests like this. Let's get into it. Voice agents live in the left sidebar. Right away it tells you what you're working with. 50 free AI credits to experiment with, and the pitch is that these agents handle entire calls on their own, asking the right questions and pulling out clear insights afterward. There's a full list of pre-built agents: screening interview, discovery call, progress check-in, user testimonial, performance review, user research, and customer support. I'm testing the screening interview agent today. I click Setup on Screening Interview Agent. First, the basic settings. English, a 10-minute session, the default voice named Fred, professional tone, normal conversation speed. I hit preview just to hear what the voice actually sounds like before committing.
Hello there, I'm your voice agent from Fireflies. How can I help you?
Now the real setup. I select the role, Web Designer, and it auto-generates 4 questions instantly: my current role and responsibilities, the tools I use most, a recent project I worked on, and the challenges I typically face. I also add one question of my own, something more specific. How would I handle a client who wants to keep an outdated checkout flow against my advice? There's also a knowledge base option, where you can upload files or crawl a website so the agent has real company context to draw from. I'll show you what that looks like, but I'm skipping it for this test since I don't need company-specific knowledge here. Last piece, instructions. I told it to keep the tone friendly and conversational, not overly formal, and to ask natural follow-up questions based on my answers instead of just reading straight down the script. This is really the test: does it actually adapt, or just march through its list? Once it's created, Fireflies gives you a shareable link. I copied it, pasted it into a browser, entered my name, and joined the call. It asks for microphone access, and then it's just me and the agent.
Hi, Ahmedullah. Thanks for joining. How are you doing today?
It opens with a simple hello, then goes straight into its first question.
Can you briefly walk me through your current role and responsibilities?
I'm a freelance web designer. I mostly work with small businesses.
What are the main skills or tools you find yourself reaching for most in your day-to-day work?
Figma for design, mostly. I also work directly in...
Could you tell me about a recent one you worked on, and what your specific role in it was?
Recently, I worked with a small e-commerce business on their checkout flow. They were losing customers at the payment step because of a mandatory account creation requirement. I recommended switching to guest checkout, redesign the flow mobile first, and we're testing a working version in a few weeks.
What kinds of challenges do you typically run into in your work, whether it's with clients, the design process, or anything else?
Usually it's balancing what the client...
Actually, that leads nicely into my next question. Can you walk me through how you'd handle a situation where a client wants to keep an outdated checkout flow, even after you've advised against it?
I'd start by showing them the actual data, where people are dropping off and why. I wouldn't just tell them they're wrong. I'd walk through a couple of options, explain the trade-offs, and let them make an informed decision. Usually once they see the numbers, it's an easy conversation, not a fight.
Thanks for sharing your experience. I'll make sure this gets... Take care, Ahmed.
I answered as a real freelance web designer would, talking through my role, the tools I use, a recent project. When I got to my custom question about handling a client who wants to keep an outdated checkout flow, I explained I'd show them the actual drop-off data instead of just telling them they're wrong, and let them make an informed call from there. After all 5 questions, the call wrapped up naturally at around 10 minutes. Now let's see what it actually produced. In meetings, I find the new file, Screening Interview Agent and Ahmedullah. There's a participant background section that correctly picked up I'm a freelance web designer working with small businesses, focused on checkout flow and mobile usability. There are also real action items, following up on collaboration opportunities based on my background, which is a genuinely sensible next step for an actual hiring process. I skipped generating the general summary since the notes already covered it, but I did run candidate insights. And this is genuinely the most impressive part. It wrote out real strengths, like my end-to-end project experience and e-commerce usability focus, but it also flagged exactly what wasn't covered: no specific metrics, no mention of my process or collaboration style, no budget or engagement model discussed. It didn't overstate what it actually learned about me. So here's my honest take. The call itself felt natural, not robotic. The follow-up questions genuinely responded to what I said rather than just reading a fixed script. And the write-up afterward was balanced. It gave credit where it was due, but also honestly flagged what it didn't actually find out. For real screening use, that honesty matters more than a flattering summary would. Quick question before you go: would you actually trust an AI to run a real screening interview for your business? Drop a 1 for yes, 2 for no, in the comments. I'll read every one. Link to try Fireflies is in the description. Subscribe if you want more honest AI tool testing. See you in the next one.